Hi friends, welcome to Gallant Ideas. In the last class we had studied about dices and we had done some problems based on dices, both model questions as well as UPSC question. So today we are going to start with a new topic, that is opening a dice cube. This topic is also very important in our UPSC CSAT exam. So we are going to deal with this topic. So what's actually an opening a dice cube means? Suppose you got a cube in your hand, right? You got a cube in your hand, and we all know that cube is a three-dimensional figure. Okay, it's a three-dimensional figure consists of 6 faces. Cube is a three-dimensional figure consists of 6 faces, and you are just opening that cube. Okay, you are just opening that cube, and now you are converting that opened cube into a two-dimensional figure. Okay, you are placing that opened cube in a 2D plane. So when you place that open cube in a 2D plane, you will get formats like this, right? With all the 6 faces. Okay, this is what we call an opening a dice cube. Got it? That is converting a three-dimensional cube with 6 faces into a 2D figure with all those 6 faces. Okay, that's what an opening a dice cube means. Okay, so in order to do some basic problems, based on opening a cube, we actually need to know some basic concepts based on these structures or these formats. So let's deal with that basic concept of all these formats. So except the last format, you can find some commonalities in all the other formats, right? Except the last format. I will show you the last format is looking like this, right? Okay, except this format, you can see a commonality in all other formats, right? What are the commonalities? What are the common features shared by all those 6 formats? Yeah, you can actually see 4 faces together, right? In all these 6 formats, you can actually see 4 faces together. That 4 faces together is known as the central faces or the base face. Okay, I will show you. I will redraw the first figure. So in this figure, you can see 4 faces together. This is known as the central faces or the base face. Okay, you can actually see all these 4 formats, this central face or base face in all the 6 formats except this one. Got it? Okay. Now you can see 2 opposite faces, right? Here you can see 2 faces on both the sides of the central face. They are known as extended faces. Okay, you can also see these extended faces on all other formats except this one. Is it? Just look on it. Just check it out. You can actually see 2 extended faces on all those formats. Consider the second one. Please consider the second figure, second format. Here also you can see 2 extended faces. These 2 are the extended faces. Similarly, you can see extended faces on the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, except this one, 7th one. Got it? Okay. Now, in order to do the basic problems based on opening of a dice cube, you need to actually know some properties. You need to know some properties shared by all these formats. Okay? So we are going to deal with that properties. So in order to study about all these formats given here, I'm going to name this figure. Okay? I'm going to name these faces of all of this format. Okay? Check here. That is, I'm going to give name as A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, got it. So we already know the concept of the base faces or the central faces as well as extended faces, right? Okay, keep this thing in your mind. Okay, now come here. That is, here our first property is these extended faces. Got it? These extended faces will be always opposite to each other. That is, in this figure, what are the extended faces in this format? That is, A and C are the extended faces, right? So A will be opposite to C. Okay, if you form a cube with this format, then A will be opposite to C. Okay, so our first property is extended faces. Extended faces are opposite. Okay, extended faces will be opposite to each other. Okay, now consider now come to the central face. Okay, central faces. In the central faces, you can actually see that B and E are alternative faces, right? B and E are alternative faces, and similarly D and F are alternative faces. Okay, D and F are alternative faces. These are the two pair of alternative faces. Alternative faces. Okay, so our second property is that the alternative faces, that is B and E as well as D and F. B and E as well as D and F. Okay, they will, that is B will be opposite to E and D will be opposite to F. These pairs will be opposite to each other. That is, B will be opposite to E, B will be opposite to E, and D will be opposite to F. So what's our second property? The second property is that the alternating faces, okay, that is all alternating faces will be opposite to each other. Okay, faces will be opposite to each other. Got it? Keep these two properties in your mind, okay, in order to do our basic problems. So actually we will get three set of opposite pairs, right? A opposite to C, first one, B opposite to E, and D opposite to F. So we got three pairs of opposite faces, which is a property of a cube, right? Okay. So similarly, we can find the opposite faces of the second format, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh also. Okay. So let's take the second example. So let's take the second example now. That is, it will be looking like this, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, the central faces and 2 extended faces. Got it? Okay. Here I am going to give numbers as names. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now tell me, what are the extended faces over here? Just check this figure and tell me what are the extended faces over here. That is, 1 and 6 are the extended faces, right? 1 and 6 are the extended faces. Okay. Now tell me the alternative faces. What are the alternative faces? We actually got two pair of alternative faces, right? That will be 2 and 4 and 3 and 5. Okay? 2 and 4 and 3 and 5. That is 2 and 4 and 3 and 5. Okay. They will be alternative faces. Alternative faces. Okay. So we got, and what are the properties? What are the basic properties of these formats? That is, the extended faces will be opposite to each other. So that is 1 and 6 are, so 1 will be opposite to what? 1 will be opposite to 6, and similarly consider the second property, that is the alternative faces will be opposite to each other. So we will get two pair of opposite sides from the alternative faces, that is 2 will be opposite to 4 and 3 will be opposite to 5. Okay, so we got three pair of opposite faces. Similarly, you can find out the opposite faces in the third, fourth, fifth, sixth as well as seventh also. Okay, I will be explaining seventh now, and from fourth to sixth, try to do it by yourself. Okay, just try to do it by yourself. Copy the formats and try to find the opposite faces as well as the try to find all the three pairs of opposite faces. Okay. Okay. Now consider the seventh format. In the seventh format, it will be looking like this, right? Okay. This is actually the seventh format. Okay. Now I am going to name this format. That is A, B, C, D, E, F. So here the central faces is missing, right? The central structure or the central faces is missing here. Okay, that is, we can't find the four set of faces, four set of central faces over here. So how will we find the three pairs of opposite faces from this format? But here we can see the alternative faces, right? So just check what are the alternative faces over here. That is, A is alternative to C and D is alternative to F, right? That is, A and C as well as D and F are alternative faces. Okay, alternative faces. So here the extended faces are missing, right? Here we can't find any extended faces. The C and D is not extended faces. Okay, please don't take this as an extended face. Okay, so there is no extended face in this format. Got it? So we already got A and C are alternative faces and D and F are alternative faces. So from these alternative faces we will get two pair of opposite sides, right? Yeah, we will get two pair of opposite sides. That is, A is opposite to C and D will be opposite to F. Okay, A will be opposite to C as well as D will be opposite to F. Okay, we got two pair of opposite sides. But in a cube, we already know that there will be three pair of opposite sides. And here you got all two pairs of opposite sides already. So what are the remaining faces? A and C are opposite, D and F are opposite. So the remaining faces are B and E, right? So the remaining faces are B and E. Already we got that A and C are opposite as well as D and F are opposite. So the remaining faces will be automatically opposite. Okay, that is, B will be opposite to E. Okay, so we already got three pair of opposite. So we got three pair of opposite faces from this format also. Okay, it's comparing to others, it is much more simpler. Okay, if questions based on this format is coming, then it will be little bit more simpler compared to all other set of formats. Okay, you only need to know one property in order to solve this problem. Okay, so that's all about the basic concept based on opening a dice cube. Now let's do some basic problems based on opening of a dice cubes. Okay, look the first question. Find the number opposite to 3. This is actually the seventh format, right? That we had just dealt a few minutes before, right? Sorry, a few seconds before we had dealt with this format. Okay, so our question is find the number opposite to 3. So I'm going to copy down the figure onto board. So our first phase, that is, the values are given as dots, right? 3, 1, sorry, 6, 1, 3, 4, 2, 5. Okay, got it. So our question is find the number opposite to 3. So which property we are going to apply here? We can only apply the second property, right? That is the alternative faces property. That is, here these two faces will be alternate, right? And these two faces will be alternative pairs. Okay, so the face containing value 6 is alternative to face containing value 3, and face containing value 4 is alternative to face containing value 5. Okay, that is 6 is opposite to 3 and 5 is opposite to, sorry, 4 is opposite to what? 4 is opposite to what? 5, right? 4 is opposite to 5. Okay, got it. So what's our question? Find the number opposite to 3. Simple, we got the answer, right? That is, the number opposite to 3 will be what? 6. Our answer will be 6. Okay, that is from the second property. That is, the alternative faces will be always opposite to each other. Okay. Now consider this question. Okay, now just pause the video and try to do this problem by yourself. Okay, and I will be explaining this. Now try to do it by yourself. Okay, so I'll be explaining now. Now just copy the wall figure. I'm going to copy the wall figure onto the board. Okay, so our question is about find the number opposite to 5. Very simple question. I think you had done this question, right? If not, try to do it by yourself. Still, I will be explaining this question. So practice these questions daily. Okay. Try to do it by yourself. Then only you can do this questions without any fear during the time of CSAT paper, during the time of CSAT exam. Okay. Try to do all these questions by yourself. Of course, you need to seek the explanation first. After that, try to do it by yourself. Improve yourself, okay, by doing all these problems daily. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, and here it's 6, right? Yeah, it's 6, and last 5. Okay. So find the number opposite to 5. That they had asked, we need to find the face opposite to 5. So where is our 5? Okay, 5 is an extended face, right? It's one of the extended face. Got it? So what is the other extended face? 3. We already, according to our first property, we know that the extended faces will be opposite to each other, right? So we know that from the figure we know that 3 and 5 are extended faces, right? 3 and 5 are the extended faces. So 3 will be opposite to 5, and our answer will be 3. Okay. They had asked find the number opposite to 5. So our answer will be what? 3. Okay. So okay, now tell the remaining opposite pairs from this figure. What are the other opposite pairs? That is, consider the second property now. That is, check the alternative faces, okay? That is, 1 will be alternative to what? 4, and 2 will be alternative to what? 6, right? 1 will be alternative to 4, and 2 will be alternative to 6. So the remaining opposite pairs are 1 and 4, as well as 2 and 6. Okay. So that's all about the basic questions. Okay. Now let's do a UPSC question. Okay. Now we had done with the basic questions based on the opening of a dice cube. Now let's move on to our previous year question. Okay. This is actually a 2018 UPSC question. Okay. Check the question. The rotated position of a single solid are shown below. The various faces of the solid are marked with different symbols like dots, cross, and line. Answer the 3 items that follows the given figures. Okay, 3 questions actually following this figure. Okay, so this is why I am telling that questions based on dices are very important, because from the single figure itself they can ask 3 or 4 questions. Okay, so if you don't know the concept of dices, we will miss that 4 questions. Okay, so keep this thing in your mind and prepare for your exam. Okay, now check the figure. Okay, from the figure itself we can use 2 methods in order to solve this question. Either with the help of our classical concept based on dices, that is, to first check whether the given dice is ordinary or standard, then move with our further procedures. And our second step is to do this problem based on opening of a dice cube method. So I am going to deal here with the help of opening of a dice cube method. Okay, deal this problem based on opening of a dice cube method. So let's check how to deal this problem based on that method. So in order to do this problem based on opening of a dice cube, I need to open this cube. with the help of all these orientation. Okay, I'm going to open this cube, open the given cube with the help of this 4 orientation. Okay, so in order to open the cube, you need to find a common face. Okay, you need to find a common face which is common in, you need to find a face common in majority of this orientation. Okay, a face common in majority of the orientation. That is, here it contains 4 orientation. So you need to find a face which is common in majority of the orientation. That is, the face should be common in any of the 3 orientation. So here, what are the common faces in more than 2 orientation? That is, line is common in more than 2 orientation. Right? That is, line is common in 1, 2, 3. 3 orientations, line face is common. Now consider the 2 dot face containing the value 2 dot. If the face containing value 2 dot is common in first, second as well as 4th orientation, right? So we can either take line or the face containing 2 dot as our base face. Okay, I'm going to call this face as base face. Okay, from this face only we are going to connect all other faces. Okay, in order to open the cube. So I am taking the line face. I am taking the line face as my base. Okay, now check here how to open the cube. So draw your base face first. Okay, either you can select line or value with face value 2. Okay, so here I am going to deal with face with value given as line. Okay, so I had drawn the base face. Now with the help of orientation, I am going to open this cube. Okay, I am going to open this cube. So consider the first orientation. In the first orientation, we had found that the line face is adjacent to face containing value 1 as well as face containing value 2, right? The line face is adjacent to the face containing value 1 as well as face containing value 2. Okay, so our next step is to draw the face containing value 1 and face containing value 2 adjacent to line face, and make sure that the face containing value 2 and face containing value 1 are adjacent to each other, right? The faces with value 2 and 1 are adjacent to each other as well as they are adjacent to what? Line face. So I am going to draw face containing value 1 here and face containing value 2 here. You can draw by according to your wish. Okay, you can either draw one here, but make sure that you need to draw 2 in such a way that 1 and 2 should be adjacent to each other. Okay, so in this case, line is adjacent to 1, line is adjacent to 2 is adjacent to 1. Is it? Yes. Okay. Now consider the second face. In the second face, the line face is adjacent to face containing value 2 as well as line face is adjacent to face containing value 3, right? Okay. Of course, the face containing value 3 and 2 are adjacent to each other. Okay. So our next step is to draw the face containing value 3. We had already drawn the face containing value line as well as face containing value 2, and our next step is to draw the face containing value 3. So we should draw the face containing value 3 in such a way that it should be adjacent to the face containing value 1 as well as face containing value 2. Okay, so where I need to draw the face containing value 3 in this figure? Okay, if I am drawing face containing value 3 over here, okay, if I am drawing face containing value 3 over here, it will be adjacent to both line as well as it is adjacent to both line as well as value containing face containing value 2. Okay, got it? That is, the face containing value 3 is adjacent to line as well as the face containing value 2. Okay, suppose if I am drawing face containing value 3 over here, is it right or wrong? If I am drawing the face containing value here, is it right or wrong? Of course, it is adjacent to line, but it forms opposite to 2, right? But from the figure, from the orientation given, it is the 3 face containing value 2 is adjacent to face containing value 3. So face containing value 3 cannot be here. Okay, this is wrong actually. So we need to draw here. So when you add faces here, you need to check the orientations also. Okay, according to the orientations only, you need to add all those faces. Otherwise, the whole question, the whole answers that we are going to get will be wrong. Okay, so be careful while opening a cube. Okay, mainly problems like this. Just look onto the orientation and try to open the cube. Otherwise, if any small mistake comes somewhere over here, then the answer will be wrong, totally wrong. Okay, we will get 3 answers wrong also. Okay, now we have drawn the face containing value 3. Our second orientation is finished, and consider the third orientation. In the third orientation, we can see that the face containing value line is adjacent to face containing value 3 as well as face containing value 4. Got it? The face containing value line is adjacent to face containing value 3 as well as the face containing value 4. Okay, so we had already drawn the face containing value 3. Okay, adjacent to line. So our next step is to add face containing value 4. So where I need to add face containing value 4? Suppose if I am adding here the face containing value 4, is it right or wrong? It is wrong, right? Because we already know that the adjacent faces will be opposite to each other. So if I am drawing 4 over here, this value containing 4 will be adjacent to line. We know that alternative faces are opposite to each other. So if I am drawing 4 here, the value containing face 4 will come alternative to value containing face line. Okay, so this forms opposite pairs, and from the third orientation we had already found that 4 and line are adjacent to each other. So we can't draw face containing value 4 over here. So where I need to draw the face containing value 4 in order to make 4 as adjacent to line as well as 3? I can draw here, right? If I am drawing the face containing value 4 over here, it is adjacent to line as well as adjacent to 3 dots, right? Yes, it will be adjacent to line as well as 3 dots. Now check the third orientation and our drawing. If it is matching only, then you need to proceed for the fourth orientation. Otherwise, just redraw it. Okay? I am telling once again, if some mistake happens, our whole answer will be wrong. Okay? Okay. Face containing value 4 is adjacent to line as well as face containing value 3. Okay, got it. Now consider the last orientation. In the last orientation, we can see that the face containing value cross is adjacent to the face containing value 2 as well as the face containing value 1. Okay, so of course the face containing value 2 is adjacent to face containing value 1. Okay, so we had already drawn the face containing 2 and 1 are adjacent, and our next step is to add cross. Okay, the face containing value cross, and the cross should be adjacent to 1 as well as 2. So where I need to draw the face containing value cross? Where I need to draw the face containing value cross? If I am drawing here, is it right? If I am drawing the face containing value cross over here, is it right? Let's check. It's adjacent to face containing value 1. Yes, it's right. It's adjacent to face containing value 2. Is it right or wrong? It's right only, because these two are the opposite. Sorry. Because does it forms any alternative pairs here? Is cross is alternative to 2? No, it's not alternative. Is cross is any extended face to 2? No, it's not the extended face. So you can draw cross here because these two properties are not satisfied by cross. So it will be adjacent to 2. Okay? That is, all other faces other than the alternative faces and adjacent faces will be, all other faces other than the alternative faces as well as extending faces will be adjacent. Okay? So I will be explaining once again, don't worry, okay? So if I'm drawing cross here, it is adjacent to 1 as well as adjacent to 2, okay? It satisfies our condition, fourth orientation. Now, suppose if I'm drawing cross over here also, is it adjacent to 1? Yes, of course it is adjacent to 1 because it never forms alternative pairs or extended pairs. Similarly, is it adjacent to 2? Yes, of course it is adjacent to 2 because it never forms alternative pairs or adjacent pairs. Sorry, extended pairs. Extended pairs. Okay. Okay. So I am drawing here. Okay. We can either draw cross in connection with 1 or in connection with 3 also we can draw. Okay. So we had got the format. Okay. We had got the opening dice format. Now our question is to, now let's find the opposite faces. Okay. Now from this figure, let's find out the opposite faces. So we know that the extended faces will be opposite to each other. That means the face containing value 4 will be opposite to what? Face containing value 2. Okay. So 4 and 2 are two opposite pairs. Now what is, now here check the alternative faces. That is cross and line are alternative to each other, as well as 3, that is face containing value 3 is alternative to face containing value 1. So cross will be opposite to line, as well as face containing value 3 will be opposite to face containing value 1. Okay, so we got 3 pairs of opposite faces. Okay. So before checking our further questions, I will be explaining this once again. Okay. So, okay. So now check our orientation, and from the first orientation, so our first step is to check the common faces in the majority of the orientations. Okay. And we had found that line and 2 are the common faces in all these orientations. Okay, on the in the 3 orientations they are common. Okay, so but here I am going to take line as my base face. Okay, I took line as my base face, and from the first orientation I had found that line is adjacent to 2 and 1, and I had drawn 1 and 2 over here. And from the second phase I had found that line is adjacent to 2 and 3, as well as 2 and 3 are adjacent faces. So I had drawn 3 here because 3 forms adjacent to line as well as 2, and 3 and 2 are adjacent to each other. Okay. And from the third phase, from the third orientation, I had drawn the face containing value 4, which is adjacent to line as well as what? As well as face containing value 3. Okay. And from the final phase, I had drawn cross, which is adjacent to face containing value 2. Okay. Value 2 as well as face containing value 1. And because cross is adjacent to 2 as well as 1, because they never forms any alternative faces or any extended faces with either 2 or 1. So cross will be adjacent to 1 and cross will be adjacent to 2. Okay, and we got the all the 3 pairs of opposite faces. Now check our first question. What is the symbol of the face opposite to that containing a single dot? So, what is the symbol opposite to the face that containing a single dot? And check our options. A, 4 dots. B, 3 dots. C, 2 dots. D, cross. Okay. So, what's the symbol on the face opposite to that containing single dot? So, here is the single dot, right? So, symbol opposite to single dot will be what? It's 3 dot. We already got the answer, right? Single dot opposite will be 3 dot because the value containing single dot and 3 dots are alternative to each other, and we know that what, according to our properties, the alternative faces will be always opposite to each other. So our answer will be what? Our answer will be 3 dots. Okay, the face opposite to single dot will be the face containing value 3 dots. Okay, our answer will be 3 dots. That is 3 dot is adjacent to, 3 dot is alternative to 1 dot. Okay. Now consider the second question. What is the symbol on the face opposite to that containing 2 dots? Okay. And what is the symbol on the face that symbol of the face opposite to that containing 2 dots? And check our options. First is single dot, 3 dots, 4 dots, and line. And where is 2 dots? Look. And here we had found that 2 dots as well as 4 dots are extended faces. Okay. And according to our property, we know that 2 extended faces are always opposite to each other, which implies 2 dot is opposite to face containing value 4 dot. So our answer will be what? C, 4 dots, right? It will be 4 dots. Okay. What is the symbol on the face opposite to that containing a cross? Symbol onto the face opposite to that containing a cross. Now check this figure. So in this figure we had found that the face containing cross forms an alternative with face containing value line. Okay. So we know that alternative faces will be always opposite to each other, right? So the face containing cross will be opposite to face containing value line. So our answer will be what? C, line, right? Okay. So we are done with 3 questions. Okay. 3 questions were asked after that figure, and we are done correctly with all that 3 questions. So UPSC asks question like this. From one single figure itself, they are going to ask 2 to 3 questions. And if you know how to do that problem, then you can easily score marks in all these 3 questions. So try to do this question by yourself. Okay. And now in this figure, you just try to do the same question with the help of 2 dots. Okay. I had found that our first step in order to open a dice cube is to check the common faces in the majority of the given orientation. Okay. So we had found that face with value line as well as face with value 2 is common in more than 2 orientation. Okay. So actually common in 3 orientation. So I am going to do the same problem with the help of face with containing value 2. Okay. Check here. So what are the orientations with face containing value 2? That is first, second, and fourth, right? Okay. So you can select any of the orientations in order to find your base face, in order to start with your problem. Okay. So I am going to deal with second orientation first. Okay. So I am going to take face with value 2 as my base. Okay. Because I had taken the second orientation because 2 is actually facing us, right? 2 is actually the front face of that orientation. So it will be easier, much more easier. You can actually also select from the first itself, but I am going to select from the second because it will be little bit more easier in order to add other faces. Okay. So consider the second face, the second orientation, and I had drawn the base face with value 2. Now I am going to draw the face containing value line as well as face containing value 3. Okay, now check. So we had found that line is adjacent to 2 as well as line is adjacent to 3, and 3 should be adjacent to 2. 3 is adjacent to 2, right? So you should draw the line as well as the face containing 3 dots in such a way that it should be adjacent to 2 also. Okay. So I am going to draw line here, and I am going to draw face containing value 3 here. Okay. Got it. Okay. Now check the fourth face. In the third face, there is no value with face containing value 2 is not there. Now check the fourth face. In the fourth face, we had found that 2 is adjacent to cross as well as 2 is adjacent to 1, and also cross is adjacent to 1 also. Okay. that is cross is adjacent to face with value single dot. Okay, so 2 is adjacent to cross as well as 2 is adjacent to 1. So where I need to draw cross over here? Suppose if I am drawing cross, okay, I had drawn cross here. Cross is adjacent to 2. Okay, since we didn't draw a face with value 1, we can't check whether this is right or wrong. So let's check and let's come to the first orientation. In the first orientation, we had found that face containing value line is adjacent to 2. Okay, we had already done that, and 2 is adjacent to 1. Okay, 2 is adjacent to face containing value 1. So in order to draw face containing value 1 is adjacent to 2, I should be adding 1 over here, right? It will be adjacent to 2. And from this figure, we had found that the face containing value 1 is adjacent to face containing value cross. So now consider the fourth orientation. In the fourth orientation, there it is clearly shown that cross as well as face containing value 1 is adjacent, right? Cross as well as face containing value 1 is adjacent. So that fourth orientation's condition is satisfied by this position, right? That is, from this position, the face with value 1 is adjacent to face with value cross. Got it? Okay. It's a little bit confusing, but still practice it. Okay. Then it will be much more easier. Okay. Now we had got all the five faces. Now our only remaining face is the face with value 4. So where I need to draw the face with value 4? So you should draw the face with value 4 in such a way that it should be adjacent to the face containing value line as well as the face containing value 3. So I will be drawing the face containing value 4 here, right? Yes, it will be adjacent to face containing value line as well as it is adjacent to face containing value 3. Okay? Got it? Suppose if I am drawing face containing value 4 over here, is it right or wrong? Face containing value 4 over here, is it right or wrong? Of course it's right, because it is adjacent to face containing value line, right? Okay, this never forms alternative faces, right? So they are adjacent, they will be adjacent, and as well as it is adjacent to the face containing value 3. Got it? So if I am drawing face containing value 4 here also, it will be right. Okay? But let me draw here. Okay. So from this figure, we had found that the extended faces are opposite to each other. So face containing value 1 will be opposite to what? Face containing value 3, right? And face containing value 4 will be opposite to, so we know that alternative faces are opposite to each other, right? So the face containing value 4 is opposite to face containing value 2, as well as the face containing value line is opposite to face containing value cross, because they are alternative to each other. So we got all the 3 pairs of opposite faces, right? Yes. See, in this way also you can do this problem, and of course we can do the same problem with the help of our classical concept based on dices also. And but in sometimes but the importance of this method is that, suppose UPSC UPSC made, instead of these figures and dots, sometimes they ask colors, right? That is, suppose this face is given as color blue and this face is given as color green, and sometimes this face is given color yellow. Different 6 varieties of color they can give instead of face values. Okay, in that cases you can't check whether the given dice is standard or ordinary, and our only way is to do with the help of this opening of a dice cube. Okay, so try to do this problem, try to practice this question daily and get thorough with this section. Okay, so that's all for the day. Do these questions. Okay, prepare yourself. try to do more questions based on opening of a dice cubes, and try to do our model questions also. Okay, so make thorough about this topic. And so that's all for the today. Thank you and have a nice day. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for further updates. Okay, that's all.